Welcome. Today, I am going to be sharing about rest. And we're not talking sleep here, though sleep's part of it. The importance of rest, particularly for midlife women, what it is and why it's so important, and why it's inevitable that you may have a hard time with resting. A lot of women do. So if you're one of those women stopping and resting through the day or giving yourself time, and if you struggle with that, you feel guilty, you feel that you can't do it for some whatever reason, I'm going to explain why and little things that you can do about it. So welcome. If you don't know me, my name is Angela Warburton. I'm an Eastern medicine practitioner for many years in the clinic, but I'm focused on midlife women now, bringing holistic, time-tested resources to help bring the balance back, to help you understand your body better, to understand what the symptoms mean, and little resources, big and small, little things that you can do to help reset, to help come back home to yourself, to help with a lot of the symptoms you might be feeling. I always give the example that we're like a bucket full of water, and we have so many of these leaks in this modern world, and that's where we're leaking energy and leaking resources. That's where we see a lot of the symptoms that we associate with perimenopause or menopause. They may be common, they're not necessarily normal, meaning you don't have to have them. And they're trying to get your attention. So I'm here to help you understand what they mean and what you can do about them. So it's drop by drop, filling your bucket back up and plugging those leaks is kind of my goal, so you can thrive during midlife, because this is a powerful time of life. It is a transition period, taking you from one stage of life to another. There's something good on the other side, but you got to feel good in order to get there and to be able to listen to the wisdom and the power and the dreams that want to come through you. So that's really my role here. So welcome. And today we're talking about rest, this is probably one of the number one things I see affecting women and causing so many of the symptoms we associate with menopause, the inability to rest. This may be related to sleep. You may be someone who's chronically not sleeping. If we're not resting well, and I'm going to explain a little what that is, if we're not resting well in our days and our weeks and our months, it's going to affect our sleep. If we're in constant do mode, our body gets way off of balance. We have way too much cortisol in our system, and we can't actually drop down and sleep. And I don't need to tell you that if you're not sleeping, you're probably not feeling great. It has a massive impact on so much: our health, our vitality, our longevity, disease prevention. You take a healthy young person in their 20s and you deprive them of sleep for 5 days, and their insulin levels are off. So sleep is so important, but rest is just as important. And this isn't something that modern women let themselves do. I actually find my partner was better at resting than I was. And I'm getting much better. But I'd come down and he'd just be lying outside in the sun. I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, just resting. He calls it his nothing box. His nothing box is open, and he's good to do that. But I would be going around and just busy and feeling like, oh, I've got this to do and that to do. And so a lot of women have that, feeling guilty, saying you've got too much to do. I can't say no to that person. I already said yes. I don't want to cancel. Oh, it's just one little thing. I can rest later. Obligations to others, feeling really uncomfortable when you stop and don't have some kind of stimulation or something that you're doing, feeling like if you don't accomplish things at the end of the day, it's not going to feel good, or you feel like, oh my God, like that your accomplishment equals your self-worth in some ways. This is inevitable in some ways, and many women feel it. This is inevitable because we have an imbalance in the sacred balance of how life works. So if you think of, I'll explain a little bit from a Chinese medicine perspective. In Chinese medicine, we have these guiding principles of yin and yang. They are balanced, they are equal. You can't have one without the other. They're constantly flowing from one to the other. Day moves into night, which moves into day. We have seasons. The summer season moves into the fall, moves into winter. Winter is very yin. Back into spring, starts to be more yang. Back into summer, which is very yang. And it just is this flow. If we tried to grow our plants all year round, it wouldn't work. We need that rest period, that fallow time. It's about hot and cold. It shows up in every single thing. It's inherent in everything. It's innate, and it's present in you as well. You are nature. And so This also shows up with yin and yang. We can talk about it in masculine and feminine qualities. Men have masculine and feminine qualities. Women have masculine and feminine. When they're healthy, when we're in right relationship, they work harmoniously together. The feminine is more about intuition, inner knowing, feelings. It is about the spark of an idea. That's the feminine energy. It comes from the unknown. It's about stillness, about being. It's about feeling. The masculine is about more of a doing action. It's structure. It is linear. It is action oriented. It's more of those masculine hormones like cortisol or testosterone. Yin is more of the feminine hormones like estrogen or progesterone. So masculine is the action. Feminine is the inner knowing or intuition. So when it's working in the right relationship, we have an insight, we have a spark of an idea, and then we take action. We to put energy out there, we run, we exercise, we're up in the daytime, and then we go into more of the yin time, we rest. So this is the healthy balance. But in our world, we tend to have a distorted masculine energy and a distorted feminine energy, active or present. Distorted masculine says that our worth is based on our accomplishments, on doing, on thinking, on scientific linear thinking. And we've discounted and diminished the feminine, the feelings, the inner knowing, the intuition. This is shifting, but we still have this distorted of, don't just sit there, do something kind of idea. And we've shamed or said feelings, intuition, inner knowing isn't valuable. It's woo-woo. That doesn't matter. That's not scientific. And so we've diminished this part. And this leaves women more, we embody a little more of the feminine or the yin than men do. But when we've diminished and disregarded this part, we feel empty. There is an emptiness that we're trying to fill. And because we've been told our value comes from how much we achieve, how much we do, we continually chronically do to feel enough. So I don't know how many women feel like they're not enough in some way. I have yet to meet a woman that doesn't feel like she's not enough. And if you're one of them, please reach out. I want to know. But we chronically are feeling not enough or flawed in some way. And so we try to do, achieve, give to others in order to fill that. And there's a cost because you are enough. You are born enough. You're inherent, like you just are. You're worthy. You're valuable. You are amazing soul that is born to do your unique life's work. And how much you accomplish in the day does not determine your worth one bit. And so that's so important to know. It's so hard I feel like sometimes it's like Teflon with women. You can tell them someone that, or even, trying to take it in can be really hard, but that's the innate, the worthiness, the innate worthiness of the feminine, of being there, of being enough and doing in right amount. But the cost of this distorted way that we've been living is huge. It costs our adrenal glands because we're constantly producing more and more adrenaline to get stuff done. So every time you're tired, like, oh my gosh, I'd love to sit down. I can't. I'm going to do this thing. And you get this surge of energy or these second winds at night. That's not second wind. That's your body saying, oh, shoot, I thought we were going to go to sleep. We're not. Okay, pump out more adrenaline from the adrenals, and the body will do that from the adrenal glands. It can actually take testosterone or estrogen and turn that into cortisol to get stuff done. So then that throws us off of balance. It can affect our thyroid, hormones, and let's face it, our happiness. So if we're chronically doing, we are sucking some of the joy out of our life. So it's one of the key things when we go through midlife, we transition and get more of a flat line with hormones versus these buffers that we have of extra estrogen when we're cycling, that the cost of doing and not resting becomes huge. And so that's so what can you do about it? There's so much you can do. First and foremost is to let yourself rest. Let yourself know that when you rest, when you fill up, when you listen, when you take that time, you're naturally going to bounce back. You're naturally going to fill your tank. And from that place, you can give. It's normal that when women feel filled up, they give it away. They give it not in a bad way. They flow that energy out to other people. So taking time to listen every day, to come home to yourself, to reset your nervous system, to rest. What kind of rest do you need? Is it sleep? Yeah, for sure, physical rest, but there might be social rest. There are all kinds of different rests. And so understanding what kind of rest that you need and carving out time for yourself. If you need to cancel something, cancel something. If you need to just take a pause, take some time off, take time away. I took weekends away by myself to a little cabin in the woods. Certainly when I was transitioning, I still carve out lots of time for myself just to putter, just to be, and that fills me up. So if you're interested in more of this, this is actually the theme this month in the Radiant Woman membership. This is a monthly membership. It's a monthly nourishing, safe container where soulful women gather. We come together each month as a theme. I have different prompts, different tools, different resources, and we come together in a monthly circle and container to explore this. So this is women from all over the world. If you're interested in that, the link's in my show notes. And this is something just nourishing to unpack some of these ways that are causing this imbalance in modern women and give you the tools to understand yourself. But you can do this now just by giving yourself permission to rest. Notice, are you shaming yourself? Are you making yourself feel guilty for resting? What kind of rest you need? If you feel like you want to take a pause, take a pause. Life will go on. Things will not crumble if you do not show up and push yourself. So just drop by drop, filling yourself up, coming home to yourself, bringing in that sacred, nourishing balance of rest. So I hope that's helpful. If you're one of those women who's pushing through, this is your invitation to stop. And there's so much good and so much healing that can come from this alone. So I hope that was helpful. If you want more like this, hit subscribe. I am providing little nuggets drip by drip to help you fill up your bucket every month. And if you like this, please hit like. And if you have anything you really want some support or information on, I do take requests. So pop it in the chat or in the comments, and I'm listening. Okay, wishing you a beautiful day or evening. I will see you next time.